Welcome, gentlemen. Coach, whenever you're settled, if you could, just some opening statement on today's game. Thank you.
Well, clearly we're disappointed. We didn't come here to lose. We came here to compete, and for stretches of the game, we did just that. You know, when you have a long week, a long layoff like we had, you make choices as a coach, and we limited contact and probably didn't do a good enough job of emphasizing rebounding for the last week. That's on me. You know, you make decisions. I thought our first shot defense tonight was terrific. We weren't able to capitalize with the rebound. We've been a fairly sound defensive rebounding team for the second half of this season. It's something we placed a great emphasis on. It was a miscalculation on my part, and you know, I let our team down today. I'm disappointed for that. That being said, 29 wins, you know, making the first ever appearance in the NCAA tournament for High Point University special. I don't want to take away from these guys in this great season dwelling on one game where I didn't do a good enough job having them ready. I'm proud of this group. I'm proud of the guys sitting to my right. We've done exactly what we've talked about for a long time. We've been the first ever. We certainly hope that we'll be back soon.
Thank you for that, Coach. We're now going to take questions for Demarion and Trey only. Raise your hand if you have any questions. Right here in front, right, please.
Robert Listella, Bracketeer.org. I have a question for both student athletes. Demarion, Coach Huss obviously helped your game this season. What exactly kind of did he do to help you bounce back to what you were doing at GWU? And Trey, as a senior, he convinced you to come back, obviously. Did you kind of see the vision for what was possible for this season ahead of time?
Let's start with you, Demarion, please. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Well, first he installed confidence in me, got my confidence back, made sure I was mentally right. And then, yeah, just a lot of reps this summer. I mean, he put me in the best positions to show what I do, and forever grateful for that.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Huss, whenever we met in the summer, he told me that we had an opportunity to make history. And, you know, we had a lot of guys that came out of the transfer portal. We're super deep. You know, it was hard at first just to see, you know, my own minutes, my own ego, my own desires get in the way. But, you know, as time went on, I realized, and Coach Huss helped me realize, that there's something so much deeper than your own selfish desires, and that's to get a part of something bigger than yourself. You know, we talk about it all the time, but that's called sacrifice, and sacrificial love runs deep, and that's why this brotherhood is unlike anything I've ever been a part of. But I want to give glory to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because he's the one that sacrificed for us, and he's a leader, and it's him that's the reason why we were able to do that. And it's him that's the reason why we're able to sacrifice and get a part of something bigger than ourselves and to crucify our own egos and our own desires every single day.
Thank you for that. We'll take one up at front center.
Matt Norlander, CBS Sports. I wanted to ask you guys about the fan turnout. You know, the university posted a video earlier today. I understand there was a big charter and a bunch of them flew up. It's a very impressive showing on behalf of the Faithful in Purple. Just what did it mean to see all those folks out there, to see you guys play a competitive game? Did you anticipate you'd have that much fan support all the way up here, tucked in the Northeast? I'd love to hear from both of you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like I had an idea just because they've been behind us all year. I mean, we probably have the best mid-major fan base in the country. So, yeah, we expected them to be here, and they was expecting a win. I mean, we didn't come here preparing to lose. So, yeah, we knew they was going to show up.
Yeah, for sure. High Point's a family, man. Like, you can just sense it the moment you step on their campus. I don't know if any of you guys have been up there, but the place is incredible. Like, we love going to school there. The family there is just incredible. And, you know, we got so many people that are very passionate about High Point basketball. And it's just a joy to be a part of something like that. Whenever you have that much momentum behind something that you do and that much love behind something that you do, it gets you emotional, man. So, you know, I'm grateful for my time at High Point. I'm grateful for the fans. Props to them. Props to Huss Bus, my buddy Quale. He's the one that runs it, so shout out to him.
Thank you. Take one here to the right.
Carter Bills, North State Journal, and High Point alum. Trey and Demarion, Coach Huss put a lot on himself for the loss, but you guys obviously had an incredible season. Talk about your appreciation for Coach and what he did to help you get here and helping you have a great season overall.
Really, I'm just grateful for the honesty. I mean, he told me a plan this summer, and everything that he said came to fruition. So I'm just grateful for the honesty.
Yeah, I'm just grateful that I was able to be a part of something big. You know, like we could have gone anywhere in the country. There's so many people that could have played somewhere else. And I know I could have played more minutes. I know I could have played somewhere else and, you know, maybe make more money, but it's not about that. Like the memories that I've made at High Point has just been surreal. And I wouldn't have changed my college career for anything.
Thank you. We'll take one more here for student athletes.
Right. DeMarian, it was a 3-point game, 7 minutes to go. Can you kind of just share with us what the confidence level was like on the floor and the communication levels among anybody as they were coming down the stretch there?
Yeah, even when we were down 10, I mean, we keep the same approach to everything we do. We was very confident going into the game. Even towards the last 4 minutes, we was confident. We just missed a couple pieces.
DeMaurian and Trey, you guys can head back. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
We'll take questions for Coach Huss right here in front.
Alan, congrats on a really good season. Want to get a little bit of framing on your preparation in playing Purdue in this regard. You obviously had a great season a year ago. I know the challenges when it comes to non-conference scheduling for a mid-major when you post a really good record and all that comes in with it. So this was your first real opportunity to play a team at this level this entire season. You guys played well out there, but did not having faced a power conference opponent, did that put you at a little bit of a disadvantage, big picture, now that you can reflect on what the game has just played out?
It certainly didn't help. And I'll be on the record to every high major coach out there, we would love to play you next season. I'm guessing that won't help, but we'd like to play a couple of Power 5 per conference teams. We're open to any and all. I think the ironic thing is, they were one of the only ones that had a little bit. By the time we talked to them, they already had their schedule full, except for one date didn't work for us. Everyone else except a couple of schools said no. It's probably a combination of a number of things. I'd say, we had the last bye before the regular season, before the conference tournament, so we were off for the better part of a week. Played 3 games, not to the best of our ability. We lost our rhythm a little bit. Then we got another whatever it was, 8 or 9 days off. And not to make excuses, I just don't think we ever really found the rhythm we had late in the season. Whether kind of even when you look past the step up in class, I'm not certain. Especially we just didn't have great offensive flow today. And I'm not certain it was really anything they did so much as it was just us just kind of being out of sync a bit. Obviously, it's a big stage, and with all due respect to the Big South, because we've got a great conference, it was unbelievably competitive. It had us prepared, I think, to play at a high level. This is a big stage for a lot of our guys, and we've got some, high major transfer downs that, for whatever reason, didn't necessarily have the best experience at the highest level. And for those guys that have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder and want to prove that they can play at this level, they came out here and maybe they pressed a little bit too. But like I said, I think our plan was good enough defensively, and we just kind of lacked flow. And if we couldn't run, the best thing we do is play in transition. We couldn't defensive rebound today, or didn't defensive rebound today, and that really kept us out of transition. We were taking the ball out of bounds, and when we get the ball off the backboard and play fast break basketball and play unselfishly, we're difficult to defend.
Thanks, Coach. Top front right here.
Robbie Listella, Brackets.org. Alan, you guys retained a bunch of seniors and not just seniors, players in general, heading into this season. Do you think that's kind of reflective of the culture you've built at High Point and the way that you retain them? Is that something you can replicate?
We certainly hope so. We've got a number of guys that have got additional eligibility. We hope they use it with us. I would tell you that for the rest of the country, this is probably a little bit unique to hear. But unless you can come experience High Point, you probably don't understand how good these kids have it. And there's been some things on social media that show the things at High Point, but the things are just that. They're just things. We actually, every time we have a student athlete make an official visit or unofficial visit, and we show them our campus, we're careful. We take them directly to our conference room in our basketball office and say, all right, I know you have sensory overload right now. You've seen the nicest campus you'll ever be on. What we need you to know right now is that if you choose High Point for those reasons, prepare to be disappointed, right? Those aren't good reasons to choose a college. You need to choose them based on the people in this building right here, the people you'll meet in the athletic department, the people you'll meet in just the university as a whole. You need to be prepared to be something or be a part of something that's bigger than just High Point basketball if you come to High Point. And so we're really careful to make sure we get guys that appreciate how good they have it there. I think that's one of the reasons why we've been successful with high major transfer downs. You come to High Point, a lot of people think if you go to the mid-major level, it's maybe not quite as nice, and it's quite the opposite. Doesn't matter where you come from. If you come to High Point, you're going to have an experience that's better than where you came from.
Thank you, Coach. We have time for one more just behind.
Coach Hush, you talked about the rebounding in today's game. Their offensive rebounding was obviously a huge difference. What was the chatter on the sideline in the huddle? Could your guys feel the size and length of Purdue?
Yeah, I think it was, again, when you get dominated on the backboard like we did today, I don't know if it was one single thing. It was more of a series of problems. We've done a good job. We switch a lot of 1-4 ball screens. They set a lot of we inverted the matchup with Kaufman and put a 4-man on him a lot of the time today. We were in some huge disadvantage situations, and typically we do a good job of winning those battles with numbers. I thought we were a little passive in kind of those 50-50, 60-40 type situations, and we just watched a little bit. And all we were trying to do is just get that kind of game speed, of pursuing the basketball game speed. We needed to get to that kind of tempo and that urgency level. And that's, aside from the offensive thing, I think you feel that in the layoff more than anything else. More than step up in class, more than anything. We were just a step slow to all the 50-50 balls. And I think you mentioned they had some plays where they had a 6'8" guy and we had a 6'2" guy. There were certainly a few of those. But you can't do anything about those. You got to win the 50-50 balls. We choose to focus on process and the things we can control, and we weren't sound enough in that area today.
Thank you for your time, Coach. Congrats on a great season.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.